All right, so today we are diving deep right into the thick of it. Reddit.
Reddit.
It's more than meets the eye, right? You've got your memes, you've got your craziness. People call it the front page of the internet. What's the deal with Reddit?
Well, when you think about social media, it's like this family, right? And Reddit is that independent cousin, the one like fiercely independent, does their own thing, marches to the beat of their own drum. And to really get it, you got to understand that it's all user-driven, this whole pseudonymous thing, and fiercely independent. It's in their DNA.
So it's interesting, right? Because you've got this platform, more daily active users than Facebook. I mean, massive.
Huge, yeah.
And it started as, get this, a failed food ordering app.
All right, my mobile menu. Can you imagine Steve Huffman, Alexis Ohanian, college roommates? They had this grand vision, like way ahead of the curve, pre-smartphones.
Talk about a different time. But, so yeah, my mobile menu didn't quite work out.
Not so much.
Yeah.
But you know what? They were onto something. In just 3 weeks, boom, first version of Reddit is up.
Really? That fast?
Oh, yeah. But here's the thing. Nobody was there.
Really? Nobody was on it?
It was a ghost town.
Wow.
I mean, think about it. You launch this platform and crickets.
I mean, everybody starts somewhere, but you figure with that bigger user base now, somebody was there.
Well, here's a little secret. They, Huffman and Ohanian, they created fake accounts
No way.
just to make it look busy.
To liven up the party a little bit.
Exactly. That's dedication, man.
That is, it makes you wonder, what if they hadn't? What if they just said, okay, this isn't working?
I know, right? I mean, talk about a tough start. But hey, they stuck with it.
Yeah.
And those early struggles, they made Reddit what it is,
Yeah, you learn from the hard times, right?
For sure. They had to be scrappy, really listen to the users, figure things out on the fly, like even comments, that whole thing.
The comments section, that's Reddit.
Exactly. That came from those early days, experimenting, seeing what worked.
So 2006, that's when the comments feature really takes off.
Oh yeah,
Big
game
boom.
changer. Suddenly, it wasn't just about, reading stuff. It was like, boom, I'm part of the conversation. Back and forth, debates, you name it.
That's what people love about it.
Totally.
Yeah.
And then, 2008, they roll out subreddits.
Oh yeah, the niche communities, right?
Exactly. That's when things really exploded. Find your people, no matter how specific your thing is. Cat memes.
Yeah.
You got it. Ancient philosophy. Done.
Underwater basket weaving.
Probably. Yeah.
And then there's that whole dig thing in 2010.
Oh yeah, the great exodus. Talk
Yeah.
about being in the right place at the right time.
Reddit was there to catch everybody.
100%. So Dig, similar kind of platform, they decided to, revamp their designs.
It's all the time, right?
Sure, but this one was a disaster. Users hated it.
What happened?
Everything felt off. Like their voices didn't matter, features they loved, gone. It was a mess.
So where do they go?
Reddit. All those disgruntled big users, they found a new home.
Reddit explodes.
Exactly. But, big growth, it comes with its own set of challenges.
Always another side to the story.
Right. And that's where Reddit's commitment to free speech, the anonymity, it's a double-edged sword.
Yeah, free speech. Anonymity sounds great on paper, but
It's a jungle out there.
yeah, it can get a little messy.
And that's where things get tricky for Reddit. On one hand, you've got this amazing community, open dialogue, all that. But on the other, you got the potential for, well...
Controversy, to put it lightly.
Yeah, let's just say Reddit's been at the center of some interesting moments.
To say the least. Remember the whole Boston Marathon bombing thing?
Oh, yeah, the misidentification of those guys.
Wild, right. And then there was that GameStop stock frenzy. Wall Street in shambles.
Reddit had a front row seat to that whole thing.
It's like a breeding ground for, I don't know, internet history in the making.
For sure. But let's not forget the everyday stuff, hate speech, harassment, misinformation spreading like wildfire.
Oh yeah, that's the other side of it.
It's tough, man. Moderating any platform is hard enough, but when you throw anonymity into the mix,
It's a whole other beast.
right, you're playing whack-a-mole with, like, a million moles.
So how do you even begin to tackle that?
It's a constant battle, that's for sure. Reddit's tried a bunch of stuff, banning certain subreddits, relying on volunteer moderators, algorithms, the works.
Yeah, it seems like they're always trying to find that balance.
Exactly. Free expression, but also protecting people. Not easy.
Yeah.
And then you bring in the whole money side of things.
Oh yeah, because you'd think all those users, all that engagement, the money should be pouring in.
Yeah, you'd think. Right. But It's been a struggle, a real head scratcher.
What's the deal there?
It's kind of perfect storm, you know? You got advertisers, and they're understandably a little skittish.
They don't want to be caught in the crossfire, right?
Exactly. Brand safety is huge.
Yeah.
Nobody wants their ads showing up next to something controversial.
Makes sense.
And then on the flip side, you've got Redditors themselves. They are, how do we say, particular.
They know what they like, and they're not afraid to say it.
To put it mildly, they hate ads. Like, really hate them.
So you're stuck between a rock and a hard place.
More like juggling chainsaws on a tightrope, honestly. And then, to make it even more fun, you've got the whole anonymity thing.
Yeah, that makes targeted advertising a bit tricky.
Tricky. It's like trying to hit a moving target in the dark with your eyes closed. You don't have that much data on individual users.
But wait, doesn't Reddit have those niche communities, the subreddits? Isn't that like a gold mine for advertisers?
Oh, absolutely. Subreddits are amazing for that. You want to reach passionate gamers? Boom. R-Gaming. Eco-conscious consumers. Head to War Zero Waste. It's like laser-focused marketing.
What's the problem?
Well, remember those moderation challenges we talked about? Yeah, they come back with a vengeance here.
Yeah.
Not every brand wants to be associated with every corner of Reddit. Some of those communities, they're a little out there.
A little too spicy for some brands.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So Reddit has to walk this tightrope, keeping things brand safe-ish, but without, killing the vibe.
It's a tough balancing act.
For sure. And those controversies we talked about.
Yeah.
They don't help. All those mishaps, they make advertisers nervous.
Right. It's all about reputation.
Exactly. And those controversies, they can lead to calls for more regulation.
Nobody wants that.
Nobody. It's like they say, with great power comes great responsibility. Right?
No.
Reddit has this incredible ability to connect people, spark movements, but it also has a responsibility to, keep things from going off the rails.
It's a huge responsibility.
Huge. To their credit, they are trying. They've banned some subreddits, invested in better moderation tools, partnered with organizations fighting the bad stuff.
It sounds like they're taking it seriously.
They have to. But it's a constant battle. And then you add in the financial side of things, and it gets even more complicated. Remember when Reddit filed for their IPO back in 2024?
Yeah, that was a big deal.
It was. And it was kind of eye-opening, wasn't it? You've got this platform, millions of users, tons of engagement, but actually turning a profit. That's been a challenge.
Yeah, the numbers weren't pretty.
Not really. But it speaks to a bigger issue, honestly. A lot of online platforms are struggling with this. How do you monetize a community without driving away the very people that make it valuable?
It's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
It really is. Too many ads, and you alienate your users. Too few, and you can't keep the lights on. It's a constant balance. Exactly. And then you throw in AI, the whole data thing, and it gets even wilder.
Oh, yeah, we can't forget about AI.
Right. Remember when we were talking about Reddit dipping their toes into data licensing?
Yeah, selling access to all those comments and posts to companies that are training their AI.
Exactly. It's a gold mine, right? All those conversations, all that user-generated content, pure gold for AI development.
Especially for those natural language processing models. It's like feeding them the dictionary of the internet.
Exactly. But here's the thing, it's not so simple.
There's always another layer, isn't there?
Always. What about the users who created that content? Did they consent to their words being used to train some AI? And what about the potential for misuse?
That's a scary thought.
It is. This data could be used to create algorithms that are biased, or even to manipulate people.
So it's not just about the money, it's about ethics too.
Exactly. Transparency is key here. Users need to know what's happening with their data, and they need to have a say.
Absolutely. This whole thing feels like uncharted territory.
It is. Technology is moving so fast, and our ethical frameworks are struggling to keep up.
We're writing the rule book as we go along.
Pretty much. And this is a conversation that needs to happen like yesterday.
So where does Reddit fit into all of this? They're sitting on this mountain of data, but they're also built on these ideals of community and user control.
It's a fascinating position to be in. Reddit, in a way, they represent both the promise and the peril of the internet. They have a responsibility to be leaders in this conversation.
Yeah, they're kind of at the forefront of this whole thing.
They are. What started as a simple idea, a place to connect, share some links, it's become something much bigger, more complex.
Yeah.
And their journey, it holds some important lessons for us as we navigate this whole digital landscape.
It really makes you wonder, what's next for them? Can they find a way forward that balances all of this? The free expression, the financial stability, the ethical data practices. It's a tough one, right? You've got this platform built on freedom of information, users in the driver's seat. but then looming in the background, these huge companies, and they're looking at all that data thinking, how can we make some money off this? It's kind of at odds with each other.
Yeah, for sure. And it makes you think about the internet as a whole, you know?
Yeah.
We've come a long way from those early days, the Wild West, everything's new and exciting.
It's a world now.
Totally. And now we're trying to figure out, okay, how do we reconcile that free spirit with the reality of big tech, big data, all that?
Right, because the old saying, if you're not paying for the product, you are the product. But with Reddit, it's almost like you are the product, but you don't even realize it. It's kind of wild when you think about it like that.
That's a great way to put it. And it makes you wonder, what does this mean in the long run? How does Reddit's story shape the future of online communities?
Big questions, right? And it's not just about Reddit, is it? It's the whole internet. Are we headed towards something more fragmented, more user-controlled? Or is it going to be a handful of companies calling all the shots?
Yeah, that's the billion-dollar question, isn't it? And honestly, I don't think anyone knows for sure. But I do think Reddit's journey, all the ups and downs, it gives us some clues.
It's like a case study for the future of the internet.
Exactly.
So let's bring it back to Earth for a second. What does all this mean for the average Redditor? The person who just wants to chat about, I don't know, sourdough bread or vintage video games.
It means being aware, knowing what's happening behind the scenes, understanding that even those little interactions, the comments, the upvotes, they all feed into something bigger.
Right, it's all connected.
Exactly. We're all part of this giant experiment, whether we realize it or not. And the choices we make, they have an impact.
So next time you're on Reddit, just scrolling through, remember, you're not just killing time. You're part of something much bigger, something that's still being written.
It's exciting in a way, right?
It is. So there you have it, folks. A deep dive into the wonderful, weird, and sometimes downright wacky world of Reddit.
From humble beginnings to internet giant, it's been quite a ride.
And we're not done yet, are we? The story's still being written. Who knows what the next chapter holds?
One thing's for sure, it's going to be interesting.
That's for sure. Well, folks, that's all the time we have for today.
Thanks for joining us.
Until next time, happy Redditing.